Pikachu. You gotta make sure the microphone's not on mute. Here, take two. All right. All right. If you change your mind on the bursting line, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me go. If you need around. If you got no place to go, if you're feeling down. If you're all alone and the good thing, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. I brought a pizza. It's got extra cheese, pepperoni, and sausage, please. Have a slice on me. That's all I ask for you, Pika. Oh, Pikachu. Hello, welcome back. Once again, it's time for the Super Sully Sunday stream, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Sundays, covering the comic books that we read this week. I read 20 Marvel books this week. 1 Dark Horse book, 1 Image Skybound book, and 1 Mad Cave book. So no DC books. No, 1 DC book, 1 Image Skybound, 1 Mad Cave, 1 Dark Horse, 20 Marvels, for a total of 24 floppies that I've read this week. My running total, I've read 72 different books just this month. Amazing Spider-Man 5 and 6 are 2 different books. They're 2 different issues. Hello. Thank you. I know issue 5 just came out like 2 weeks ago, but that's okay. How you doing today? I am very low energy today. Last week you saw me coughing up a fit, and that turned into, later that night, it snowballed into what revealed itself to be an upper respiratory virus. I called out sick I couldn't sleep, so I had to sleep sitting up as much as I could while, constantly coughing and passing lots of phlegm, as it's phlegm, as it said, and it was gross. So I had to call out sick Monday. I called out sick Tuesday because I hadn't gotten any better, and I got a doctor's appointment first thing in the morning. Got some X-rays, and he gave me a doctor's note. So I stayed out on Wednesday because I can call out sick 2 days in a row. If you call out sick a third day, you need to have a doctor's note. That's all fair and good. Especially, it felt good to be seen by my doctor, get it listened to. I got a new primary care physician out of the deal. Yay. Because I just lost my primary care physician. She left after years. She knew my case for years, but I got acquainted with my new doctor, Dr. Jason. How you doing? Good to meet you. And thank you for taking such good care of me. And so then Thursday was Juneteenth. It's the celebration of the emancipation of the slaves in the United States of America by the hand and pen of Abraham Lincoln on June, I think, 18th? Juneteenth. It's one of the, and the Emancipation Proclamation that he signed, but it did not go into effect until January 1st, 1864. I know my Civil War. I'll forget more about Civil War history than chances are you'll ever learn at this point. Trust me. Yellow Tavern? Anyone? Jeb Stuart got killed? Hello, end of the war? Stuff like that. Well, if you're a comic book fan, and you might be, since you're tuning into the show, I read a lot of GI Combat growing up, which is a DC Bronze Age WW2 war comic. Not even just a World War II comic, because there were like French Indian War or other, sometimes the occasional. It was all wars, but it was basically World War II. World War II stories were still pretty big, 30 years afterwards. Plus, you really couldn't tell heroic stories about what was going on in Korea or even after that Vietnam. There wasn't really, there weren't very many heroic stories about those two projects. How are you today? So yeah, I'm feeling pretty low energy. I'm still recovering. Still, I did not need antibiotics, which is a blessing. It is currently 93 degrees Fahrenheit here in Boston. Welcome, AL. From my Pikachu to yours. Greetings. What's the weather like in Manhattan today, or out in, your undisclosed part of the city? Manhattan's close enough. No one needs to know. I got your back. I'm not going to dox you. Funny, I almost doxed myself last week. I had to take down last week's stream and learn on the go. YouTube Studio is actually quite instinctive and easy to use. What I did was I doxed myself. I showed my mailing address when I was doing my crowdfunding spectacular last week. My admission of my admonition of our culture there on that side of the aisle. I was showing off all the different crowdfunding projects that I've backed and I'm still waiting for. And I'm grateful for all caps for changing my address. But it was just like, oh shit, it's exposed. For like every single one of them, I ordered a lot of all cap stuff. So what I did, I ended up like doing a rectangle blur effect, which is on the screen for the entire hour that I had the crowdfunding stuff up just to cover my ass. So apologies to anyone out there that is like what's up with this thing there? Why is he edited for television? And it's only for the duration of the crowdfunding things. Crowdfunding drama this week too. We have to talk. Will we talk? We don't have to talk about anything we don't want to talk about. It's 90 degrees in New York City. I hope you cool down. I have not turned on my air conditioner yet. I have a combination heat and air conditioner, so it's like I just have to switch it over on the thermostat. I've never done that, and I don't know how to. But you know what? I just got to take a picture of it, go to YouTube, put in like, hey, how do I change the settings on my therm? And I would be regaled with crystal cold air at any second. I could turn it down to like 62 degrees, and it can be subarctic in here. I have yet to turn on my air conditioner. And also, by the way, happy summer. Yesterday was the official first day of summer. It was the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in terms of sunlight, the shortest night of the year. I bet you the vampires stay in on the summer solstice. Wouldn't that be funny? Pizza? Anyone? Pizza? So yeah, let's start off with, another thing too. I got an unboxing, a decorative painting. I thought it will be here next week. Good thing I already put up the nails for it. I got my laser. I got a level with a laser beam, and then I hung up my Queens of the Stone Age tour poster, and it's in the So I got taste. All right, I know I can do this, and so this is going to hang above my Star Wars media shelf. I have a dedicated Star Wars shelf out in my living room, and I deserve it. Instead of Star Wars, the lifelong love. And also, let's do it. Let's have the unboxing. And then let's talk a little bit about crowdfunding drama part 2. Hope you're doing awesome. If you haven't already, if you're new to the station, new to the channel, just tuning in for the first time, why don't you hit that subscribe button? We are a growing channel here. You will definitely be part of the first 1 million subscribers to Reverend Sully's station. You can say that you got in at the ground floor, at the ground level. You can't say that because honestly, there were a lot of people. There were 1,600 people here before you. And I'm blessed for every single one of you. And I could never have grown this channel without your help and without the help of all the viewers here. For every click and metric, for everything, for every subscribe, for every thumbs up, for every comment, for every time you hit the share button. You know, all of these things help the algorithm suggest this little channel to someone that might need to hear it. I'll be doing a new form of the gratitude list in addition to the gratitude list. Hello, LT. Good to see you. Hail, everyone. Hail, Sully. Hello. Hail, Lord Doth. James, how are you? Greetings to you, good sir. And I think I finally have figured out where to, because I need to put my mic closer to my face. I need to put for fidelity reasons, especially when I listen to the replay at Wes, Thinking Critical's Comics Aficionados. Sometimes I feel as though my voice gets clobbered by other people's microphones. So buttons. So do something about it. Self-assess. You know, I watched replays of these shows to assess my background, to see if I mumble. Am I slipping into speaking too quickly and mumbling all over again? It took me years to learn how to speak clearly and distinctly. Let's put it that way. Before my mom died, I really because it really tickled her pink on this one, man. And she was like, I love your shows. I love that, you know, because she struggled with me all of my childhood, of course. But I would speak a mile a minute and have such a divergent attention span. And I would mumble most of the time because my mouth could not keep up with the speed of my brain. And I was so overexcited. And, you know, that, you know, it would just come out as this stream of mumble. And she would get so frustrated. She would always say to me, will you please speak more clear and distinctly, please? It was not until I started YouTubing over 4 years ago that watching my own replays, I'm like, no, deliver your information a lot more slower than what you're used to speaking. It's really had an impact on the way I speak to people outside of work and at work now. I mean, it's made a huge impact on me positively. Being a YouTuber. Yeah, I mean, I don't mumble. And I still mumble, and I'm still capable of mumbling. But do I? It's a conscious choice. When I look at the replays, I'm always think like, gosh, you're speaking so slowly. I hope people do not think that like I'm speaking to you like you're stupid. Like, no. But then I see the replays and I'm like, wow, you're speaking in a really decent clip and pace. And that always impresses me. You know, when I see the replay, like I feel like I make such an effort to speak, and it's helped. It really has. Thank you. Yes, you were. Yeah, AL is OG, and you know what that means, LT, right? Wait, that just came out of my head. Good to see everyone out there. Thank you so much for being part of this chat. Thank you for seeing all these familiar faces, having faith in me and in this little show of ours. And you know, we grow together. I was on Bandito Baines last night, and he's a growing channel. Let me get you the link. I'll drop you the link in the chat here. I'll put it in the playlists, the posts. I didn't see the link. Oh, what a stink. Oh, what a jerk Eric is. Bandito Bane. I will get you the link for the show. Wakasashi Gray was on, and Kenzo UK was on last night with Bandito Bane, the well-rounded nerd, the Warhammer noob, and Spider-Man aficionado. You can check him out and give him a subscribe. And you know, he's a new content maker. He's out from California, and he's really trying. And he needs our support. We grow together, and Yeah, and he's a really big Spider-Man fan. So yeah, let's open this. I thought this package was gonna arrive closer to next weekend. And I went downstairs to get my pizza. I'm so lazy today. I ordered a pizza. I'm not even hungover. I had 2 Guinness on Friday night with supper. And that still made me feel a little winded. Rethink this drinking thing. Okay, let's take a peek. Oh, and it's framed. It's not just. It's a print. There's no glass front to it. Sorry. Cost $60 altogether with with shipping and handling with $40 and $20. This is going above my thank you, Dad. This is my stepdad, Hoppy. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend. I love this man, and this has been my joke that, why do I love him so much? Dude, are you kidding? He put up with my mom. He puts up with my mom. Like, you don't know how much I understand this man. I love him. I said the same thing to my uncle Art, who married my aunt Debbie. I was like, Art, I love you. He was like, dude, that's great. Thanks, I love you too. He was like, no, you don't get it. You put up with my aunt Debbie. I love you. And we got a good laugh out of that one. And I will, if you save that. I just got the electric bill, and I'm like, it's nowhere as near as big as my biggest winter bill. It was like they were price gouging people too. So I have a full-on Star Wars shelf in my living room, and also I'm getting a photo with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen at Boston Fan Expo on Saturday, August 9th, 2025, my day at the Nerd Prom. I'm going to hang out and see a bunch of people. I'm going to see Thomas Gilkey, Memes of Destruction, hopefully Snacks and Friends. I think D-Day Direwolf's going to be there. James and Duplica, if you're out there, you know what I mean? Like, rendezvous with us, let us know. We'll be hanging around all day, probably using the Sigma Comics table as a home base. So look on I'm pretty sure H.H. German or one of his people are going to be there, and it's a good place to be like, hey, let's rendezvous at Sigma Comics. You know what I mean? I'll meet you there. I got stuff to do. First thing is to my best friend Brian Massey, my original OG best friend of life, my first brother, who I shared Star Wars and G.I. Joe and He-Man and Battlestar Galactica and Chips and Dukes of Hazzard and everything with. We grew up together, literally. I've known him since I was like 2 or 3. Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, I love that. But he was like OG Star Wars fans. I'm so happy that he gets to go to the convention. That I want to get another autograph from James Marsters, who played Spike the vampire on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. I met him, got a selfie with him. Nice guy. And in Dallas Fan Expo, I got 3 of the primary actors from Angel: David Boreanaz, the star himself, Angel. Julie Benz, who played Darla, the vampire who sired Angel, who was sired by the Master. There's some powerful vampire blood there, if you know your vampire myth. Got all 3 of them to sign the slipcover of my Angel DVD box set, and so I have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer box set, and I'm like, dude, you should get James to sign that while you can. While he's here in town, do it. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna. So yeah, but waiting in line for autographs is no joke. It really isn't. It's an interesting fan experience. If you're going to a con and you want autographs, I have a hack for you. Okay, you have to plan them out. I wanted to get 4 autographs over 2 days of con and still have time to wait in those queues, wait in those lines, and then have time to not just hang with my friends, see everything I want to see on my own, and meet up for social obligations such as supper. Go early. Get there when the doors open. Friday, it's usually 4 o'clock. Saturday, it's 10. Sunday, it's 10 a.m. And get in the line early. So on Friday, I got 2 autographs. Went and saw Julie Benz first. That was my long line. I waited about 45 minutes for her. Then I went over and saw Felicia Day of the Guild. She was also on Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 7. She was one of the Slayer girls that got that got the power up. Remember, Buffy shares the power at the end, and every Slayer potential is now a Slayer. Yeah, really cool stuff. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But I got Felicia Day to sign my copy of Fear Monarch. Nothing yet, really. We're just starting to get into it. Thank you, Fear Monarch. But Felicia Day, I think I waited 15 minutes for hers. And she was so delighted because I had the Guild. I love her show. She wrote it. She stars in it. She produced it. She kind of crowdfunded it too. Like the later seasons were like definitely crowdfunding efforts. It's a love letter to being a geek, to being role-playing games for video games, and the con experience. Also, my personal experience of meeting your non-delusional parasocial friends online and meeting them in real life and becoming a real life guild and a real life friends. And that's what happens in the Guild. Felicia Day is the Guild. There are 6 players, 3 guys, 3 gals. They're all pretty quirky. They're all pretty funny. And they all play in the same multi-player online role-playing game called The Game. And it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons meets Warcraft meets this thing, like everything. It's just like The Game. It's like, so these are nerds, geeks, gamers. And it's a love letter to our culture, and it's really fun. It's about 15 years old, so Felicia Day's level of humor is wicked. There, she probably would have self-corrected and not written like this after 2015. So it's a benefit of being in the pre-woke days. And so yeah, this is AL. AL's in New York. Yes, Felicia Day is waifu. Hi, Nanda Diska. I have such a crush on her. She and my other best friends of my adult life, Peter Fernandez, sent me a cameo of Felicia Day singing me happy birthday during lockdown. And it was really a wonderful thing. And also, so I shared it with my dad here, my mom and my dad. And like, and Hoppy correctly identified Felicia Day. Oh, she's in Supernatural. I'm like, yes. So yeah, Felicia Day was in Supernatural. She was in Mystery Science Theater 3000. The relaunch. She played King of Forrester, the Mad. And you know what? I don't like Patton Oswalt all that much, but he was son of TV's Frank, and they played off each other so well. And I mean, I loved. And that was when Jonah was the prisoner of the satellite of love, and I really didn't watch the 4th host with the lady because they had also changed Crow's voice to a woman's voice, and they also changed Gypsy's voice and Gypsy's name because you can't say Gypsy anymore because it's a racial term to describe the Romany or something. And what about fucking Tucker? I mean, no, that's more gusto. You fucking tucker. Put on your fucking your stocking feet. What are you, some fucking tucker? Put on your shoes. Those are my grandparents. So yeah, and so that was on Friday, and so that only took up about less than an hour and a half of waiting time. So on Saturday, I'm going to get James Marsters and then David Boreanaz, and I scheduled in my head, did some head math. This is going to take under 3 hours. And it did. I was a little over 3 hours, to be honest with you. So I did that first thing in the morning. So by 2 o'clock, I almost 2 o'clock, I free up. So then I'm able to run over and say hi to, Star Wars Theory. I can go to the bathroom. I can get a bottle of water in me. I was in line. I didn't want to lose my place. So yeah, I got James Marsters and David Borean as Angel and Spike. And yes, please. I love Buffy and Angel. So but I got free about 2, and we're gonna leave about 5:30 because Perch had rented out the Yardbird for a 6:00 supper for all of us. And so that only gave me a couple hours to mosey about and to hobnob with people, and they run over to the Ripaboo and meet Eric July, the Soskas, Gary Beekler, who I was looking and seeing, Jay David through Drunk 3PO. I had no problems. I'm so glad I went to the Ripaboo because that gave me perspective, and it kind of doused my interest in any of the comic date drama. I still love my side of the aisle. I'm just stepping back from that kind of sphere of it because it's more of a couple of minutes of FaceTime, shaking someone's hand, looking them in the eye, having an actual conversation, treating people like people with a lack of hostility and nothing but respect. It was great. And it was eye-opening. It really was. So isn't this. And my picture of myself, Hayden, and Ewan McGregor is going to be hung underneath this on the wall and behind my Star Wars media shelf, the dedicated Star Wars media shelf. My walls are purple. My sofa is red. So I'm this is gonna play, and the Queens of the Stone Age print is white with this deep kind of red color as well. And this is it's like canvas, so it's got a matte finish to it. It's not, you know what I mean? So this has got you can see the staples. So this is basically on a canvas, and it's been painted onto a canvas. I like this design a lot, and so we're gonna have. So you got Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, here. We'll have them down here with me. I think that's wicked cool. Yeah, and very happy I got that. Dean Costarellis. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, I think I did. Dean asks, am I in favor of a Buffy reboot? I would not be in favor of a reboot, but a continuation, yes. There are ways to do it. If they want to do a modern one, there's a Hellmouth underneath Cleveland. The Hellmouth was under Sunnydale, California, and that was the whole thing of them. And then there was the joke. What about that other Hellmouth? It's under Cleveland. We knew this. We know this from being Buffy fans. So yes, there is another Hellmouth. Yes, they can do something with the series, and they can always write a good story. There is a Buffy, and I think it's. I don't know if it's a reboot or if it's what I'm talking about, like a continuation, like Sarah Jessica Parker, Sarah Michelle Gellar is, I think, reprising her role as Buffy, but she's my age, so she should be probably the oldest Slayer ever because they die young and they activate the next potential Slayer. That's how Slayers get, made, and they usually don't live very long, and the nature of their trade, battling vampires. But remember, at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they, thank you, awesome. Did they kind of maybe they left it on a real it's a great way. Well, it's an old show, so we should talk about it. In season 5 at the end of season 4 of Angel, it's also the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer over on season 7. So that you can watch from season 4 to season 1 of season 4 of Buffy is season 1 of Angel, season 5 of Buffy is season 2 of Angel, season 6 of Buffy is season 3 of Angel, season 7 of Buffy, the final season, is season 4 of Angel. Angel goes one more season, and So at the end of season 4, something interesting happens. Angel and his his cohort of allies and fighters, they win. They defeat Wolfram and Hart, the LA law firm that's the cover for evil mystical stuff. The wolf, the ram, the heart. It's like this organization that's been around in perpetuity of history, and they're like, they're evil. They're also maybe chaotic good, but mostly evil. And they work, and there's the powers that be. And then there's it's just, yeah. So Angel season 5 is they've inherited the offices of Wolfram and Hart and all of the staff. Now they run Wolfram and Hart, and it's a really interesting. And so the first episode, they get this big manila folder in the mail. They open it up. It's a familiar icon. It's the pendant that Spike was wearing when he sacrificed himself to save Buffy at the end of the show. And once they open it up, this kind of holographic or ghost version of Spike pops up and becomes one of the gang. He eventually gets his body restored. So he is still the vampire with the soul, and he's still Spike. And so Spike is part of Angel season 5 as his awesome role. So by the end of season 5, Wolfram and Hart have brought, secretly been working behind the scenes. Another big bad has come, and they have mystically put LA into a hell dimension, into hell. And so they're all battered, bruised, about to lose. It doesn't look too good for the good guys. A bunch of them have died. Gunn is basically holding in his innards, with his hand. He's on death's door, and he's got an interesting way out of that in the comic book adaptation. And Angel says, "I've always wanted to fight a dragon," and then fade to black, and then they race into the thing, and that's it, and that's the show. I thought that was a great ending. That was really fun. It was. And we get geeky here. We really do. So yeah, drama. Oh my goodness. Reported for being racist. That word is a Spanish racist slur to white people. Because I said it's a gringo thing. And this was Brick's oh wow. Well, let's see what happens. Are all the Latino people that I work with know that? It's not like I said cis. CIS. I mean, whatever that means. I just know that's a slur. Reported. Yay. Well, if Twitter thinks that's a swear word, they'll ask me to take it down. That's all I can do. Gringo's not a bad word. That's Twitter for you, though, huh? I hate endings like that. That's why I never liked The Sundance Kid. Yeah, but I haven't watched that in forever. Wow, it's a pretty good movie. Let's see. So yeah, there's more. There's Heroes Con going on right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, and so a lot of the Comicsgate creators are down there. But remember, there was a schism in Comicsgate. So there's basically good versus evil Comicsgate, new versus old Comicsgate. Who cares? I mean, but there were I'm tuned into all of these people, or some of these people on Twitter, and there's wow, more antics, just inside the con, like one creator's going up to another's table, and they have drama. So Dan goes to Shane's table 2 days in a row. It was a big to-do months ago. But the second day there, another guy named Mike is filming it from afar for content's sake, for the goof. And Mike and and Dan are allies against Shane's faction. Wow, how fucking, and this is great. This capitulation of this, hearing myself say these words, really gives a lot of perspective to myself. Like, I actually, wow, okay. And then Cassandra was cheated on Job with Alexandros, who is the rival to the belt buckle fortune this week on Los Fresnos. Lane Kramer, as I live and breathe. How you doing? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the show. So yeah, so a couple of weeks back, I'm like, I am at Dallas Fan Expo on that Saturday. I did say hi to Eric July and the gang and had no problems. It kind of put some perspective on the beef between Ethan's Comicsgate and Ripasend and the Ripa people, because it's like, I got to, I don't know, there's something about meeting people and being cool with people and just like having just like that's digital stuff. This is real life. And so I got really torn into by one of the people on the shows over on that side. Did a lot of mean things to me. And like, are you kidding me? Like, because what happened was, one of these guys, that like the drama farmers, one of them dressed up as like a pink bunny and was giving Eric, it was intending to give Eric like a hard time. And it was just like, the intent was to, rile up Eric, bring the drama inside the con and document it for content's sake. And the person in the bunny suit had his pass taken away from him and escorted out. And I'm like, good. You don't bring your drama inside the con. I mean, your beef is your beef. That's your thing. Sure, I can respect that. I don't have to like it. I don't have to hate it. I just know it exists, and I know that's your thing. So have your beef. Put some sauce on it and make sure there's plenty of salt. What's up, Mo? Salam and happy Sunday. Yes, indeed. It's the Super Sully Sunday show. And if you're just tuning in, please smash that like button, turn on those notifications, ring that bell, and subscribe to the channel for me and Pikachu's sake. That's right. He is the executive producer. I am just the talent. And I just work here. So come this weekend, I would love to go to Heroes Con in Charlotte. I hear Charlotte's a really nice town. It's a city, you jerk. I heard Charlotte's a really nice city, and it's mostly purely comic book stuff. So lots of independent creators. Like, I would get to meet Pierre Berg, aka Narwhal. I would get to meet Irene Strakalski, aka Reenie. I would get to meet Von Coleman, who I did comics aficionados with, about 2 months ago. And he's a young guy too, and he's like one of us. He's like, the torch has been passed. I love stuff like that, and then I would have Shane Davis, like a big fan of his, especially his Green Lantern, his Red Lantern stuff, especially his Batman Annual 25 that he, Judd Winnick wrote. I mean, why, thank you. No, I'm not going anywhere. Brian Shearer should be down there right now. Brian is a great guy. Well, good. I hope he doesn't get involved in the brawl. So, like Mike Barron's down there, Graham Nolan's down there. We see our pond is only so big, and there's going to be overlap. Oh yeah, and Dan Fragg is down there, and Mike S. Miller is down there. And so Dan Fragg had a very public split up with Ethan's tribe. And there was a lot of public animosity and a lot of back and forth, a lot of bad blood. And a truce was called too. And a big deal was made at the last con that Shane went to, because Dan was going to be there. And Dan said, I'm going to come in and shake your hand. And Shane's like, what? Why don't you just leave me alone, kind of thing. But no, Dan showed up at Shane's table. They shook hands. They're old acquaintances. They've known each other for a while. And And so Dan comes by and does it again at this con. And then that was Friday. And then he come back on Saturday and Shane's eating his breakfast, a chicken biscuit. And he didn't shake Dan's offered hand because he said he was eating a biscuit. And that's fine. Yeah, whatever. But behind them over there is Mike S. Miller. He's taping the whole thing. And as a, that is bringing the drama inside the con. But here you go. I mean, is it comeuppance? Because here we have, Ethan's tribe at Comicsgate applauding Eric July and the Pink Bunny, the Pink Bunny of Eric July, back a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago in Dallas. They made we had clips and we had shows and we were like, look at this. Oh yeah, we really owned Eric. Oh man, yeah, the Ripitards. Ooh, and I'm like, here I am with this new perspective in my old show, in my old crowd. And there's no room for dissent on that side of the aisle. I don't feel so. No, I don't think so. It's my lived experience. So it's like, but if you were making fun of that shit 3 weeks ago, and now come full circle using words like bullying and harassing, well, you shouldn't go up to a vendor. That person has bought that table space and made an agreement at the convention to be selling merchandise. They're there to work. They're there to make money. So your disruption of their vendor table could be and should be rightfully put down as tortious interference, that you were trying to interfere with that person's ability to generate income by making a drama. What if you gave that person a panic attack? That's my first friggin' thought, because I have it. You know what I mean? Like, how would I weather something like that? The panic and anxiety of being at a con anyway with all of those people, and it's so crushed, and they like, dude, I had to chew back like 3 panic attacks on that Saturday there, waiting in line. It was just, but I did it, and I had resolve and I had resilience, and I did it. Yeah, I know. So I mean, like, I've kind of stepped back from it in a way. I think that we should leave it. I think they should grow some balls and go out to the parking lot. Seriously, but don't bring it inside the con. I mean, that's just, who gave you permission to be a dick inside the con? Don't do that to the rest of us. We all paid good money to be here. Hey, JK, I don't care about any of this drama. Boys should just grow up and tend to their own businesses. Right. Count your own money. Worry about your own stuff. I mean, just like, I got to the point where it's just like, hey, you're going to become what you consume. And, the whole thing, Mo, is that's what causes clicks. That gets attention. That gets super chats. That gets this furious group of these two tribes, like, the Ripa people and the Ethan tribe of Comicsgate. But guess what? Like, then you have people that like overlap in this small pond. That's just like 2 sides of the same pond, or 2 corners of the pond. I mean, it's not the whole. They don't represent the whole pond, but they get a lot of attention, and they get, yeah, exactly. Well, because through attention comes metrics. Through metrics, watching your videos, especially in replays, comes advertisement stuff. You can, and also super chats and things of that nature. So it's like, I just got to the point where it's like, wow, it's like everything's so negative. Too hot to cook. It's true. Nice. Ah, boy. Yeah. So it's kind of like, but it's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be cheering on Pink Bunny doing that to Eric July and then going around and saying like, oh, you're bothering me. That doesn't work. No one believes you. I don't, and I'm your fan. And I got your back. And so it's like, oh well. Let's get to some comic books. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna make sure. Make sure you get it. Like someone answered me also. Hey, makes me a very happy gringo because we were talking about flour tortillas. I'll show you. Come on, let's look at it real quick. Share screen. Share screen. Boom. So this person, American Rebel 24, they have 959 followers, and we have one mutual. And they're MAGA too. Wow. And they're pro-life, they're feminist, they're TERF. Free Palestine. Oh, yike. Let's see. This is like, which is better? All right, let's settle this. Corn or flour tortillas? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? I learned this from my Latina ex-girlfriend, Didi. You see these on the right here, on the left, corn tortillas? That's an authentic barbacoa. Over here, these are like gringo-style fajitas. But barbacoa is a flour tortilla, braised beef cheek, raw minced white onion, fresh cilantro, and lime. And it's amazing. My mouth is watering right now. So I answered corn. Flour tortillas are a gringo thing. So Bricks Black reported for being racist. That word is a Spanish racist slur to white people. Maybe maybe they're satirical. Who knows? But I was like, this guy answers, it makes me a very happy gringo. So I said, make sure you get him too. Adios. Aren't I funny? Ain't I a stinker? Yay. Exactly. Corn for real tacos. But Mo needs flour tortillas. I like the flour tortillas are good, but I like corn tortillas more. Exactly. Corn tortillas. It seems that we have corn tortillas are the winner here. And Mo asks, Sully, is Hal Jordan the villain of Absolute Green Lantern? I wouldn't know. I'm not reading Absolute Green Lantern right now. I am not tuned in. Let's see. I read 20 Marvel books this week, in addition to 4 other books for 24 individual floppies from this week. I know. I read a lot of comic books. Amazing Spider-Man number 6. I got to remark how wonderful John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna's line art and inking are. The opening pages, what nice hands they drew on Peter. Sometimes it's hard for artists to capture hands and feet well. And these guys do it. Then there's lots of broken glass and lots of webbing. The way that fabric falls in bunches on clothes. Waves of hair on a person's head. People's faces. Johnny Romita Jr. is peak here. And it's Scott Hanna. And also Marcio Menes, the colorist. They have a lot to do with it. It's a great art team. This is the best single issue of Amazing Spider-Man I've read in what feels like a very long time. I want more of this. I like the soapy melodramatic stuff. Peter finally seems to be winning a bit, especially in his love life. I like Peter and Felicia's dynamic, and she seems to have a more authentic character voice that I've seen in some time as well. I think that the other guy that Shay is dating is going to end up being Brian Naring, the childhood friend of Peter Parker, because that, my friends, that would be the Parker look. Agua. Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. Where were we? Okay. Aliens vs. Avengers 4 of 4, written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Isaac Rabid. It was such a good issue. It really was. And this got stronger issue to issue. I barely liked the first issue. The second issue, it was like, oh, okay. They've really turned up the gas here. They're cooking. But the third one, I'm like, wow, this is good. But this last issue was even better. So, I mean, this is going to collect really well. It's going to make a very nice trade paperback. The big bad xenomorph, the queen, whatever it was so well executed. And some of the deaths of the heroes were just really interesting and so well used with power sets. And also Isad Ribic draws a lot of his own sound effects. And I love when an artist does his own onomatopoeia. Wes did a great interview with John. I still got to get to it. I usually have time at work. I can listen to stuff while I'm working. Interesting. Not interested in a Peter Parker without MJ. I actually was a fan of Peter before MJ. So I'm kind of like, for me personally, I think that because MJ is officially 3 years older than. I think that we're getting lost in presentism and modern definitions. JK, is that the one where he's in an open relationship? He was dating Shay back at the end of the Zeb Wells, Joe Kelly. I think that was volume 4, and this is volume 5, the new issue number 1. And they broke up, and then they kind of, by the end of it, they warmed back up to each other, but they're just dating, and so, I mean, they're allowed to see other people. It's like, and also, Shay figured it out to those long silver hairs I see on your jacket there. I don't think those are Aunt May's. And Peter's like, oh well, you got me there. So it's more of like, unless Peter can commit, she doesn't have to commit. So I guess you would say I don't think it's an open relationship, as in like how we would think, like they don't call each other boyfriend and girlfriend. They're not, that's not their relationship. They're simply dating. And they, so I'm thinking like, in a way, yeah, sure, exactly, yeah. Well, I think there's modern definitions, but also I see things as like, hey, we're only dating. I'm not exclusive to you. I mean, it's not like I made a commitment to you. Like we're in a relationship, like we're married, but you have room for to have side things. That is an open relationship. Like two people, they don't define themselves as a couple. I don't think Shay and Peter define themselves as a couple. That they are definitely friends with benefits and free to see other people. And this is a little bit Peter and Felicia never really do it. They're just like on the high end of flirting, which could just turn into something physical at any moment. Did they sleep together in that last issue of 8 Deaths of Spider-Man? Most definitely. I think, because of he just died and came back. Of course he's horny as fuck. And it's kind of like think of the last episode of Angel. Did Spike and Angel sleep together? That's like one of those. It's on the commentary track about the ambiguity of Spike and Buffy if they had slept together that last night on Earth before going into the Hellmouths to fight the First. And because Yeah, let's see. What else did we read? Avengers 27, it was good. It was action-packed, had quippy dialogue. I liked Jed McKay's handle on T'Challa and his character voice. McKay is pretty hit or miss with me on the Avengers. It's a bit too much at times with the whole impossible city thing. I just wish it was more grounded. Avengers Mansion, Jarvis, a Quinjet. This is all OP, overpowered, and it's overpowering. It's just like everything gets lost. Everything's turned up to 11. So it's like you don't get to hear production value and finer notes in the background, in my humble opinion. Cool. What else? It was Doom, Bring on the Bad Guys, #1, and it was a sleeper hit with me. Mark Guggenheim can cook when he wants to. He really can. He knows how to write a story. Storyteller, professional storyteller, professional writer. Especially good with these properties, these IPs. He does a lot of Star Wars stuff. He did some stuff with Buffy and Angel. He does some television work. But it's the art. It's Stefano Raffaele who does the art in this book, and it's amazing. I mean, don't sleep on this book. If you want a suggestion for some random floppy that you want to take a chance on, yes, it's part of the One World Under Doom stuff. But, I mean, this and Red Hulk, these are the two highlights of the One World Under Doom event so far, in my humble opinion. The Stefano Raffaele art in this is amazing. Don't sleep on this. Seriously. Doom's Division #4 is totally meh. I mean, this is the Asian-centric book where it's written by Asian people, drawn by Asian people. All the characters. It used to be Tiger Division, and now on One World Under Doom, it's Doom's Division. So you have this pan-Asian team, but there are nobody from the Indian subcontinent. There are no Pakistanis and no Indians, no Hindus or Sikhs or Muslims on this team. There's Pacific Islanders and what we would consider, Asian people, like Chinese people, Japanese people, Korean people, Taiwanese people. I'm not even sure there's a Taiwanese one. Did they even touch that? I don't even know. Wow. But I just thought, because I said, Asian folk are not a monoculture. So it's thoroughly representative of different Asian people, I guess. But there seems to be no Indian or Pakistani people here either. Yet it kind of makes me realize there are no Asian people on the Avengers. Yet the X-Men do, at least. I'll say that much. There was Emma Frost, the White Queen, #1. It was interesting. It's yet another Marvel magazine that uses the word fascist in it. And they use it twice in this book. And it's set in the past with the Hellfire Gang. And so classic, bad guy Emma Frost before her redemption. And in a classic X-Men team from the Cockrum, Byrne, Claremont days, man. But they use the word fascist, and here's the rub on that. It's a Marxist thing, and Marxists really believe that anyone who isn't an ally or a fellow Marxist is a fascist. So by default, by you not being a Marxist, you're automatically a fascist. And that's a Marxist thing to think and to push. And that's, so there's so much weight behind the word fascist in 2025 for your cultural media and for your cultural literacy in pop media. It only comes from one side of the aisle. And it's got the weight of everything that they've put behind that word. And it's in fucking fiction. I mean, it's cringy. And Marvel keeps doing it over and over again in different books. Ultimates, The Fall of the House of X. There are a couple of others out there too. I always notice it. It's like a fart in an elevator. You can't help but notice. The story does get better when the X-Men shows up. Fantastic Four Fanfare number 2 was okay. The Mark Buckingham story had heart and had great art. Godzilla vs. Avengers number 1 was terrible. It could have been a lot more fun. Let's see. Oh, great. Haha, they say they're gonna make sure that they get him too. Good. Here you go. Oh, I think I'm gonna make sure you get this one too. Okay, him too. Them too. Them too. Here you go. Because I got someone else that that chimed in. Flour, corn, tortillas aren't a gringo thing. Interesting. Right. Yeah, Taiwanese is Chinese. It's not a part of China. They're the Democratic Republic of China. That's Taiwan's official name. And China says they are part of China. And there's, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can see that we're talking about Red Hood. No, I'm not looking forward to it. No. And I'm a huge Jason Todd fan. It's just going to end up being it's going to be activist trash. And yeah, they can do whatever they want to Jason Todd. The only thing that's going to save any of these characters is a crisis. To reboot all the characters. John Kent goes back to being 9 years old, and he can grow up to be anyone he wants to be, and he can love anyone he wants to love. But his strength was as a kid character. I need to eat something. Thank you. Where was I? Oh, yes. Let's find this thing again. Hello. Yeah, Godzilla vs. Avengers number 1 was terrible. It could have been a more fun story if the art had elevated it. It was brought down by George Janti's shoddy work here. I mean, I used to be a big fan of George Janti when he was doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer seasons 8 and 9 on Dark Horse Comics with Joss Whedon and Brian K. Vaughan. But also he's quite literally drawn the worst comic book I've ever bought, from one of these big things. It was the Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne, issue number 4 in 2010 with Grant Morrison. It was just so bad. That's what they can't help themselves. Yeah. This activist writer apparently had tweeted J.K. Rowling, the writer of the Harry Potter books, and also a lightning rod for these gender studies concerns and hatred, and talked about doing this action on her with a sharp object. I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit, I feel. So I'm going to start start gearing down and wrapping it up. I mean, I don't want to get sick again. I still am sick, but Gwenpool number 2 was okay. I mean, it didn't suck in my humble opinion. The art was passable. The dialogue was fine. The mystery and the story, they slowly reveal. There was plenty of action, for a superhero book. It's fucking Gwen Stacy, back from the dead. Whoop-de-doo. It's perfectly mediocre. Iron Man number 9, which I heard is being canceled, thank God. It's like, okay, I said, why do I feel like Oscar Wilde? I mean, that wallpaper in the opening pages, either that's got to go or I got to go. And that was allegedly Oscar Wilde's words on his deathbed. he was looking at this awful pattern of wallpaper from his sickbed on his deathbed. And those were apparently his final words. Either that wallpaper's got to go or I got to go. And there's like this awful scene in a Russian flat where it's not even drawn. You can just tell it's a cut and paste, drop and drag, template thing, just put onto a blank drawing. And then it mysteriously disappears. So from pages 9 to 12, it's like this identical thing, and it's so flat. It doesn't have the illusion of perspective, like of sloping down the wall either. It's just a flat design. And it wasn't drawn by hand. And so it's completely forgotten about after page 12 until page 18 when the fight goes outside of street level. But I'm like, is this nitpicky or is this just shoddy workmanship? You have a great week, AL. Thank you so much for coming by. And I always love seeing you in purchase comments. I always try to get. I look for your Pikachu, and I always immediately give a thumbs up. And everyone here, go watch some Perch, and you can continue your conversations with AL and Adam Frey all week long in Perch's comment sections. Seriously, you will always find AL there and Adam Frey. So look them up, and you can find myself too occasionally. I'm pretty vocal on Perch's, comment sections. Yay. Good to see you. Thank you so much. God bless. Iron Man. Yeah, so Landshark. Shit. Jeff the Landshark #1 was bad. Written by Kelly Thompson. It's just too much dialogue. They had Deadpool in it, and all he does is yak, yak, yak. And I feel that Jeff the Landshark's strength is when it's really over basic. When it's kind of super cute and over basic, and when characters usually speak in emojis and word balloons, then you have one word balloon usually consistently going like Jeff. Jeff gets caught into his antics, and usually it's just show don't tell in a kind of Sunday funny page evocative kind of style, So this is a 22-pager, and it's got a lot of story in it, which in the story kind of takes away from the enjoyment of just Jeff being Jeff. It's cutesy-ootsy. It's not. It's vapid. It's not deep. It's just Jeff the Landshark. I do enjoy as a character, but this is a miss. Moon Knight Vista Conchu #8 is amazing. Jed McKay is cooking the best on Moon Knight Vista Conchu. Dev Premanik's art is amazing. I noticed him way back on Ram V's The Vigil #5 when he did some fill-in stuff, and I was like, wow, who is this kid? And I've noticed him. I remembered his name, and I tend to notice him when he does anything else out there. Great layouts, great panel progressions, great use of panel borders. You got to see it to believe it. Check out Moon Knight Vista Conchu #8. Power Man Timeless #4 I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. It's one of Lansing and Kelly's final big 2 comic books. And for Lansing and Kelly, they're pretty good ripoff artists. So they like to retread Warren Ellis, Grant Morrison, and then they're doing their imitation of Marvel Jack Kirby, King Kirby. And or maybe it's even they're aping something more like Grant Morrison aping Jack Kirby, which you can find specifically in Marvel Boy on Marvel Knights and over on DC Comics in Final Crisis. That's basically Grant Morrison doing Jack Kirby. Oh yeah. Haha. Psylocke #8. Now, if only Alyssa Yu Wong, blocked me with no, you know how I feel, can make an issue. If only Alyssa Wong can make an issue and story like this, her standard of Psylocke 8. She can do it here. Why not all the time? This is a standalone floppy. ain't all that bad at all. Lots of action, lots of good pacing. I mean, the twins thing is a little bit hack at this point. Even McKay is doing that over on his X-Men, and they probably both get that from either soap operas or Grant Morrison's new X-Men. And, you know, so buttons. Whew. Star Wars, Dr. Aphra Chaos Agent #1 was a pleasant surprise. Adds a decent Star Wars story. The art was pretty good, and it's better than that flat Phil Noto stuff. It's a concise story. Luke Skywalker looked and sounded like Luke Skywalker. It's the kind of issue 1 I like, not the inciting incident of Act 1 in a trade paperback. It's a story told with an open ending, promising more. Color me interested. And I'm rooting for Star Wars. It's not like I'm actively supporting Disney Star Wars. I just wish, like, you know, there would just be good Star Wars. You know, it's if there was better Star Wars, I think I would watch it. You know, I got to admit, Spider-Verse versus Venomverse #2 is okay. I liked Spider-Ham a lot. It was action-packed, and that's great for superhero comics as opposed to the talking over lunch type of books. I appreciate all the expository stuff too, because it's literally all over the place. It's all over a couple of multiverses. A Spider-Verse and a Venomverse. Ultimates 13 was out this week by Dennis Camp and Juan Frigeri. You know, I would have some more respect for it if there was some diversity and representation in the Red Skulls, but making them all white trash rednecks is a bit on the nose. But hey, it's Dennis Camp at the pulpit, especially with the Up with Prisoners and Oppressed Citizens thing too. Wow. Hey, look, now we have diversity and representation. Funny, huh? And all this in a council of Tony Starks. Ultimately, it's weak sauce polemics from Akefia Karen. And that is Dennis Camp. I call him Akefia Karen. Akefia Karen is one of these people that, you know, are in protests all the time. They tend to be like, you know, just, don't you have something better to do? Don't you have a job and kids to raise? Maybe some weed to smoke? Some movie to watch? In my humble opinion, the strongest issue of West Coast Avengers, #8 so far. The art, the action, and the panel pacing all elevate Jerry Duggan's story, but it's the character Killer Watt who's the star of the show. It was okay. Wolverine #10. Javier Pena's art is really good, but we're going back to Sabretooth again. Hopefully it's another hallucination, but the great art does not elevate the mid-story here. It's a swing and the miss. Then we have Jed McKay's X-Men #18, and it's okay. I mean, it's not a bad issue. We have that twins thing again here. It's just a very cartoony style. I mean, it's definitely the best of the From the Ashes ongoing X titles. It's Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone isn't as good as this. Most definitely Excretional X-Men. Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing. The Chicago-based team. Oh my God, that's so bad. And then come all the other minis that are all wrapping up. What's in the bag? Let us get to it. Yes, I'm sick of lectures too. Yeah, people just want to like, you know, open a comic book and forget about their lives for a story's length of time. Let's see what we got here. I got 4 floppies this week bought from my local comic book shop, the LCS. I spend my money there. I also get my books, my bags, and my boards from my local comic book shop. Yes, I pay the retail markup, but let me tell you, everything goes to a small business. A local comic book shop is an independent bookstore. It's part of the American dream. It's the American way that Superman is talking about, that they're trying to take away from him. small businesses in small towns, in just independent bookstores. So help keep an independent bookstore open with some patronage. I picked up Vatican City 3 of 3 by Mark Miller on his Millerverse version 2.0 over on Dark Horse Comics, with art by Per Berg. And this finishes up this pretty quick vampire story. And it's okay. I mean, I find Per does all the art. Yeah, those are that was I get the window open. It's 90 degrees, 94, 93 degrees. Per does all of his coloring and his lettering. I find the colors to be all muted, and I usually like Per's art a lot, and I like it here too. But it's the rare miss for me with Mark Miller. Rare miss. Flash Gordon number 10, written by Jeremy Adams, art by Tom Derenick on Mad Cave Studios. Great issue. Look at this splash page. Wow. This is a good book. It's very accessible, likable characters told with a reliable character voice that you've come to know these characters with. This could be, when is Flash Gordon going on 100? Let's see. Not the film. Flash Gordon debuted in 1934 as a direct competitor to Buck Rogers. So, I mean, at 91 years old, this 91 years old property with a consistent heroic voice of Zarkov, of Flash, of Dale, of Prince Baron, of Prince Voltan, of everyone, even of Ming, the Merciless. New Gods number 7. You too? I usually like Narwhal's work. I really do. But this was a miss for me too. It's interesting. It's interesting too because he was doing paper and crystals and inks and pens and pencils on this one. And then scanning for letters and colors. So, but usually his medium is a tablet. Yeah. New Gods number 7, really good. Evan Cagle does the art. Ram V does the writing. It's kind of toned down the hugeness of the scope of these big mythological stories, and it kind of just tunes it down to a really interesting, strong superhero book, just for this one. And my pick of the week, it's got to be G.I. Joe Energon Universe number 8. Baroness asks for and gets a 48-hour leave class. So, but she needs a chaperone, so CoverGirl goes with her. And they end up in Paris. Calamity ensues when Major Blood wants some revenge and is hot on the trail of Anastasia Decouvre, the G.I. Joe Baroness. Exactly. And this plays well with the Transformers going on too. Clutch, the vamp driver, is now friends with Hound, the Autobot, who plays the Jeep. Interesting pairing. I like that. And so we are seeing this slowly dovetail into one big overstory between G.I. Joe and Transformers. And that's about it. Yeah, I got to wrap it up early today. I'm like I said, I'm still feeling sick. I can feel my voice going. I just don't want to end up like getting sicker, and especially, I need to go to work tomorrow. I do. But thank you so much for tuning in today for this quick episode. Yeah. So and I'm going to go hang this up in my living room. Yeah. I dig the hell out of this. It's like it's a canvas. Wow, I like this a lot. This is great. and talked a little bit about the crowdfunding drama, part 2. Jeez. Get a room, go to the parking lot, but keep it out of the bloody con. Nobody wants that. Nobody. Seriously. Alrighty. Well, God bless. Namaste. Good luck, and we will see you in those funny pages. All right. Thank you, everyone out there who tuned in, and everyone who's watching the replay later. Ciao. Bye-bye.